You've never had a reviewer friend like me. Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. Just like I did with Dumbo, with the new live-action Aladdin coming out, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Disney classic that is getting a live-action remake. And just like with the Dumbo one, I'm doing this about a week and a half early because there's another video I have planned for the week that the live-action Aladdin comes out that I don't really want to move, and you'll see why that week. But here is my Aladdin review, which is not really going to be a review. It's going to be me praising how much I am obsessed with this movie, and then some predictions I have for what the new live-action one is going to be. The one with Will Smith instead of Robin Williams as the genie. So let's just get started. As I said, I'm obsessed with Aladdin. This was my second ever Robin Williams movie, very shortly viewed after watching my first, which is Ferngully. They came out 6 months apart. If you want to hear my thoughts on Ferngully, there is a link to my podcast in the description. It is the most recent episode that we talked about on there. It is a really great time. I actually think that a lot of people who watch my channel will really like my podcast. Quick plug for my podcast, but that's not what we're here to talk about. This is probably my favorite Robin Williams movie of all time. Yes, I know he has so many other amazing movies, and I love pretty much everything he's in. Jumanji is another one that I absolutely love, and oh god, there's so many. I love all the Robin Williams movies. Good Morning Vietnam is great. I did a review for that if you want to check that out. Aladdin is definitely my favorite. It is probably one of my most watched Robin Williams movies as well, along with Ferngully. It's probably one of my most watched Disney animated movies as well. I'm obsessed with this movie. I love this movie. I have just everything about this movie to me is absolutely perfect. So it was hard for me to watch this and review it. So let's try to talk about it. Most of this will be predictions for what I think the live action Aladdin is going to be like. But growing up, I think the reason I really love this movie so much is twofold, not counting Robin Williams, because Robin Williams just trumps everything. Number one is Jasmine. I wanted to be Jasmine growing up. I absolutely loved her. I loved her independent spirit, and I loved how strong the character was. And I think that's more something that I'm realizing now, that I love Jasmine so much growing up, was because she was such a strong female character, because that's something that I've really been noticing a lot in movies recently. I gravitate more towards the very strong female characters, and I think I did back then as well. I just did not realize it. That's one reason, but also because her best friend and her pet was a wild tiger, and I think Raja was the reason that I'm so obsessed with cats now. Like, I am a crazy cat lady. My cat is my best friend. I love her so much, and she's being a real adorable dork right now, wanting me to pet her. Jasmine is definitely one of the main reasons I really loved this movie. The other one is, I'm pretty sure when I was like just about a teenager, like preteen, like 10, 11, 12 years old, I had a major crush on Aladdin, probably because he was played by Steve from Full House, or he was voiced by Steve from Full House, and I had a crush on Steve from Full House. Scott Weininger is adorable, and I loved him as Aladdin. Something else I really loved about this film is the way they portrayed the characters. It's a very short film, a little over an hour and a half long with the credits, but it's very succinct and very well put together. It gets to the point. There's no extraneous stuff, and the way they introduce characters, even minor characters, you get a sense of everyone's character, even like the rug. You get a really great sense of the magic carpet's personality, Abu's personality, Raja's personality. Every single character, you understand their motivations, their history even, just from the little bit that they show you on screen. And for a film made in 1992, the animation in this is amazing, which is one of the reasons why Disney is like top dog in the animation industry, and this was all hand drawn too. I don't think they did any computer generated animation on this. I don't believe. If you compare it to, again, Ferngully, and we talk about this in the podcast episode, I can't help but compare the two because they were both Robin Williams movies, both released in 1992, and are actually very similar in not storytelling or tone or anything like that, but there are other similarities. Again, I direct you to the podcast because it's not something I really want to get into on here, but the animation style in that is like, the animation style in Aladdin is beyond amazing, and if you compare it to the animation style in Ferngully, it's just, it blows it out of the water. That's about as much review as I can put into Aladdin because I watch this movie and I just get too sucked into it. I pretty much say every single line along with the characters. I sing every song. I can't help myself. I love this movie and I know it too well. So I'm going to get into some of my predictions for what the new live action Aladdin is going to be like. And I feel like I was pretty spot on with my Dumbo predictions, and I feel like I may be with this because I feel like this is going to be exactly the way The Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast was, where it's pretty much an adaptation, or it's almost pulled straight from the original animated film, and then just a couple extra songs or scenes are added here and there that don't necessarily help what you're seeing. I know with Beauty and the Beast, this extra scenes and extra songs did not work. I absolutely hated the extra stuff. It was not good, and that's probably just what made that movie not my favorite. If they took out those extra scenes, the extra storyline, the extra song, it would have been basically the original Beauty and the Beast but live action, and I kind of would have been okay with that. It would have been weird to see a live action version of something that I spent a lot of my childhood watching. So I think that's what they're going to do with this. They're just going to add a couple songs, and from a particular scene in the trailer, which none of my friends apparently noticed, but other people on the internet did, and I pulled this theory from the internet as well. I don't know exactly where I saw it. It's probably Twitter, so I can't really credit whoever I saw this from, but someone said on Twitter that this is probably going to just be Hitch, but with magic. Because there is a particular scene in the trailer where they're in like a party and Aladdin is Prince Ali. He's talking to Genie. The Genie is trying to get Aladdin to go talk to Jasmine. He's like pushing him to talk to her, and then all of a sudden he just like waves his fingers and blows the magic at Aladdin, and he gets pushed backwards by magic. And I'm like, yeah, I really agree. Seeing that scene makes us feel like it's going to be Hitch, but with magic. And I was not the biggest fan of Hitch. I know a lot of people were, but it's not my favorite of Will Smith's movies. Also very concerned about Will Smith as the Genie. I love Will Smith. I am obsessed with the Genie. He is probably my favorite character in this film. So it's going to be very, very hard for me to separate my love for Will Smith from my love for Robin Williams' portrayal and bring the two of them together. If that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense in my head as I'm saying it out loud, but it's gonna be hard for me to really see this Genie in any other way. When I first heard the announcement, I was kind of excited, but then as I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't know. And then once I saw the trailers, I was like, I really don't know. So I'm going to reserve my judgment for how I really feel about this whole thing, because a lot of people pointed out to me, it's not necessarily ruining your childhood. And that's what a lot of people have issues with, is that it's going to ruin their childhood. And someone pointed out to me that it's not going to ruin your childhood because you still have the original, and that's what I'm banking on, because that's what I ended up doing with Beauty and the Beast. I went and saw it and I was like, meh. There's some stuff I really, really didn't like about this, and there's stuff that was okay. And the okay stuff was really just Emma Watson. And even then, it was just Emma Watson. And finally, my predictions for this, or just my thoughts on the trailer pretty much. It's like a trailer reaction without the reaction. It's trailer review without the trailer reaction, whatever. Jafar. I did not like him in the trailers. I'm not stoked to see him in this. Again, reserving judgment for when the movie comes out, so we will see about that, but he just does not seem as sinister and evil as the original Jafar, who I absolutely loved. He terrified me, especially when he got turned into the genie. So we will see how I feel in 2 weeks. But let me know your thoughts on the original Aladdin, what you think the new Aladdin is going to be like, and if you have watched this far, leave in the comments, no context, do not say my favorite anything, just leave in the comments, no context, your favorite Disney animated film. It can be anyone from any era. It can be all the way back to Snow White. It can be all the way now to Zootopia or Frozen or whatever. No Pixar movies. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really truly do appreciate every single one of you. Let me know who you are in the comments down below, and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe if you're new, because I love talking about movies, TV shows, filmmaking, film history, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye!